feel like I should sit up.
Hello and welcome to 6 Degrees of Feature Film. I am James Hunt, also known as Brienne, also known as Miss Movies.
And I am Nikki Lauda, also known
That was,
as Stacey Howard. Was that a good accent?
that was pretty good.
It was
That
okay.
was pretty good.
It
I
wasn't
was
my
going to move
best.
that up,
It's not
but
as good as my Rocky, but we're gonna go with it today.
that sounds great.
Yeah.
If you've never joined us, here's how our show works. We're going to take one film and we're going to show how 6 other films link up to it in some random way, shape, or form. So we're talking about a total of 7 films. So that kind of like seems like it doesn't work, but it does.
It works every time, and I don't know how, and I don't know why people still watch. But here we are with my nails
91.
matching my lipstick. You're looking
Love
good.
that.
You got
Love
a
that.
choker. We got DVDs behind us. A lot of shit's going on.
A lot
right
of
now.
a lot of crap.
A lot of it.
What's been
Lot.
up?
Oh, nothing. What did we just do? We went and supported our friend.
Yes,
And
Rachel.
we had a great time. She kicked ass. If you haven't seen
Mhm.
Rachel Cushing's latest Inner Geekdom Schmodown, you need to watch it because she looked incredible. We helped her with hair and makeup.
We did.
Like, I feel like I'm not saying we could win Oscars for makeup. I'm just saying, like, if a B movie horror film crew was in town and they were like, hair and makeup didn't show up, we could be like, let's try it. We can try it. And then we
We could
would
try
do
it.
okay, in my opinion, because we made her look the elfin like, and I think she looks great.
She did look great.
Yeah, she did.
She
She was
looked great.
beautiful. She was
She looked
fierce,
great.
fierce as fuck, you guys. So
Ah,
that's what's going on with me.
That's
Supporting
good.
friends.
That's good. Supporting friends
Supporting
is good.
friends is good.
Mhm.
What's going on with you?
Lots of things. Lots of things are going on with me.
What things?
And not great things.
Why?
I lost a friend. Turns out I'm not a good friend.
What do you
I
mean?
just realized I couldn't be the friend that this person wanted, and I was like, I can't. I just realized like I was the problem, you know. And
But
I was
see,
like,
is that your fault though, or
it
is
is.
them? Is it
It's
them
both.
being like demanding and like, I
No,
need this from you? Like, you don't owe anybody anything.
no, I think it's both. But
Okay. Well,
anyways, I
you're a
will.
wonderful person. You've been a great friend to me.
Thank you.
Not
Thank
Ben,
you.
but all right.
So that's
Nope.
one
That
thing
would-
that
Don't turn the mic
happened.
on.
That
Nope.
would require me to be your friend.
Nope. Nope. Don't turn the mic
I'll
on.
turn my mic on.
You don't get to
Hmm.
talk.
I get
flip
to talk.
off. Flip
Yeah.
off that switch. Which apparently the mic is on the whole time. I don't really understand that
Okay.
concept. All
Okay.
right. I don't know. I don't get it. You flip on the switch.
It's like a
on.
mute button. Okay. So here's what happens the mic is plugged into the mixer. The mixer is on. It's on, right?
Okay.
And then you have a switch on your microphone that's on and off. So it's like a mute button.
Yeah.
And then
on and off.
and then you take
you
the
can turn it
mute
off.
button and you flip it up because it's already on. I
It's
know, I
live.
I'm
know.
gonna have
It's
to
live.
agree
It's
with
hot.
Stacy on this one, which hurts my soul
Ah.
Okay.
a lot.
Ha
All right.
ha.
I'll go for it. You know what? I've been in the wrong a lot this week, so I'm totally fine with that.
You know what?
I
We
got
were in
dark
the right
side.
end though, and what shows that you're a good friend. Like, we did a great job together supporting women in the
That's true.
Schmodown,
We
and that
did.
makes us good friends. And
We
you're my
did.
good friend. That's why we do the
Thanks.
show together.
That is why.
Yeah.
That is why. Another thing that happened is I'm reevaluating hosting. So there's that. I'm not going to take my classes anymore because I realized like it took me a year. I've been doing that for a year, and the reason I started was to get better at this, get better at the show,
Mhm.
learn more. You know, meet other people that are doing similar things, and I
You
just
saw
realized
that.
like other goals kind of emerged while I was doing that. And then I realized I don't want those goals. I just want to be good at this and I
Yep.
want to like work on this and focus on this. And so I was like, you know what?
This is
I
in,
think
like,
it's
our
concluded.
show,
Yeah.
or- Mhm.
This channel, our
This
show.
yeah.
And so
World
I feel like
domination.
I think it's time for me to move on from that. So a lot of decisions have been happening. A lot of metamorphosis.
But you
has gone
got
on.
out of it what you wanted to get out of it,
Yes.
right? Of the classes. That's good. There you
Yeah.
go. Well, I'm proud for you. I'm
There you
proud of
go.
you. I'm proud of us. Proud of Ben. Oh, gross.
What up?
But I am.
All right. So
Okay.
now that that's all out of the way, now that I've purged my soul, we're going to talk about Rush today, which I just saw for the first time.
What?
Yes.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Rush falls into the hole. It came out in 2013. It
Mm.
falls into the hole of when I was in a very deep depression. So
Oh.
therefore, that's why I missed it and haven't seen it until now.
But you have emerged.
I've
a
emerged.
beautiful flower.
That's true.
Blossoming and free.
Mm-hmm. And
in
here
the
we are
wind.
now.
And here we are. I'm
come
excited we're
back to
talking about this because I hate sports films. I just don't care about sports at all.
Okay.
But this is one of the sports films that I genuinely do enjoy
Mhm.
because it's not really about Formula One racing. It's about the relationship between two men and their race in life, not just on the
Mhm.
track.
Yeah, on the track is where all the actual physical racing goes down,
Right.
but there is that rivalry
Yes.
that has happened between these two men.
Great sports film.
This came out September 27th, 2013. And if you have not seen it, it says the merciless 1970s rivalry between Formula One rivals James Hunt and Niki Lauda.
I like his
Daniel Bruhl, I've never seen him on camera ever before, I don't think.
Inglorious Bastards?
Okay, but I
Yeah.
don't like I don't remember him. You know how
Mhm.
there's like a moment when you're like that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Like
That
he'll
one.
be that one that I'll say that guy from Rush, you know?
Right. Mhm.
That's how I'll know him from now on. But he was incredible.
He was great in this. I loved him in Glorious Bastards, and he was just in is it Age of Ultron?
It could be Age of Ultron.
Daniel Bruhl, was he in Age of
No,
Ultron?
he was in Civil War.
Oh, Civil War. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Because he was trying to get the Winter Soldier to revert back to his evil ways.
Yes, he was the evil
So
man
he
at the
was-
end
yeah,
that
so-
shows the tape.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry for spoilers of Civil War. I didn't mean to. I was just trying to figure out which character he was. Guys,
He's,
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Baron von Zemo, I believe.
Okay.
Von Zemo.
They
I
don't
feel
call
like
him
that's gonna
Baron
be
in the movie, but that's his character.
his Von Zemo.
Baron von Zemo. That's the comic book character. Then he's like something Zemo in the movie.
Oh, okay. I feel like that's gonna be a Schmodown question, and we need to absorb that information.
I've decided I have a new tactic for Schmodown.
That's right,
It's
we
called
decided.
just gonna figure it out when I get there.
It's the Stacy. You're just gonna wing it.
Because otherwise it consumes my life. I
Mhm.
felt I was in quicksand, like I
Mhm.
was just slowly being consumed by the game, and I was like, "This, I need to refocus." Once
Mhm.
again, another refocus moment.
Mhm.
There's a lot of refocusing,
I like you. Just turn the lens, refocus it.
Mhm.
I like that.
and then I got to work on this camera one day. One day we're gonna get this camera down. It's gonna look beautiful.
Well, I feel like you can't even see my whole hair, so there's that one thing.
Okay,
So if we can fix that, that'd be good.
you just have to sit down more.
because I can't slouch.
Okay, okay.
I don't.
All right, Lucy.
Uh.
You're Lucille Ball. I'm totally Ethel. This is our relationship.
Let's just down some chocolate. Just shove it all into our
Mhm.
mouths. That'd be great.
You know what else should go in my mouth? S'mores, because I would like to make those. But anyways, back to Rush.
Back to Rush. Back to
Rush that into my mouth. S'mores. It's s'more season, as you know.
Yes.
All right.
'Cause
So
of
Rush.
barbecues?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
barbecues.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, beach time.
Ron Howard, and this is kind of one of the times where I'm like, I didn't realize how much I loved Ron Howard's filmmaking until this movie. I
Me
just thought
too.
everything looked so pretty, but yet dull at the same time, and that's
It-
what made it pretty.
It's got the 70s dullness to it. The
Hmm.
70s were full of color and mustard yellows and greens and oranges and like crazy patterns and stuff. But every time you see a photo, it's always like yellowed, you know?
Sure.
So they had that going on for them. They had the lighting. It was good.
What was your favorite part of this film?
I loved the interview scene that they do. It's like a press conference after Niki Lauda has come out of his accident,
Mm-hmm.
and he is basically showing them, I'm not going to let this affect me. I'm going to move on with my life. I'm going to win. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to kick ass. And and some journalist, and that happened in real
Right.
life. Some journalist was like, "What does your wife think about, how's she going to deal with your face down?" He was like, "Fuck you." And
Mhm.
he said it was the most hurtful thing he's ever heard from a journalist. But he still used that, and he used the rivalry to like push forward. So I liked
Right.
that press conference. It was very inspiring.
I was really excited when I saw that one of the race that he had his accident in, was the I don't know if I'm going to say it correctly, and I apologize. The Nuremberg Ring, which I was like, oh hey, I've played that on Forza, and it's hard. There's this
What's
game
Forza?
called Forza, and you are racing basically, and that one would always be the challenge, and I'd always spin out.
Mhm.
It didn't catch on fire, but spun
Just
out
like
all the time.
in real life, they all spun out. I think they disqualify or they like discontinued that track after because they were like, it's too dangerous. Too many people have gotten in accidents.
Maybe for certain racing.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's still there.
props.
I doubt they would like demolish it. It's huge.
No, I don't think.
It's
I
very
think
famous.
just like because so many people have gotten injured and killed on it, they were like,
Mhm.
maybe not for racing cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Christian, we're talking about Rush. Thank you for joining us. So another person I saw in here, Natalie Dormer,
Yeah.
real quick. She's not here the whole time,
Mhm.
but real quick. And I thought, hey, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
good to see you.
Game of Thrones, The Tudors. If you haven't watched The Tudors,
Mhm.
I love her in that.
She's
She's
in
great.
the first Captain America movie as well. She had a
She
short
is.
role in that too.
She is.
She's the
Lots
queen of the short roles.
Yeah, lots of MCU people are in
Hmm.
this. Daniel
Yeah.
Bruhl, Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Dormer.
Oh.
Anybody else? I'm curious, but I think those are the three.
Olivia Wilde, is she in it? No?
I don't
No.
think so. No.
Okay. Okay.
She was great in this, though.
She was. I really appreciated that. And I didn't know that about Richard Burton, like her going out with Richard Burton while she was married to James Hunt. I thought, interesting. Interesting.
You know what I read? Russell Crowe almost played Richard
I
Burton,
read that
and I was like,
too.
what? That would have been amazing. I want Russell Crowe to be just a fat boozy man. Like I want that for him because he's a great actor.
You want him to embrace it.
I want him to embrace it. That's the thing. I want him to just be like gluttonous and like rule over everything like a kingpin, like a big, weird kingpin.
Okay, so what role then for him?
Some kind of kingpin. I don't
Like
know.
in Daredevil?
Sure. Yes. Oh my God. Can you imagine him like Kingpin and Daredevil? Please do that. That sounds amazing.
I'll cast it right now.
Okay.
This the budget was 54 million and it made 98.2 million at the box office, so almost made its budget back. And I love that when Niki Lauda himself watched this, and I know you wrote this down too, that he said, "Shit, it's really me." And that's pretty crazy. Like his whole family is like, "That is really him."
Yeah.
That
that's how he
Daniel
acts.
Bruhl is him.
I heard that Niki Lauda invited Daniel Bruhl when he heard that Daniel Bruhl was cast. He invited him out to his estate or something. And he's a real pilot. You know, his family like own planes or whatever, and he can actually fly. And he was like, you know, if you want to fly out to my estate, we'll have dinner. We'll talk. If you don't like me, you'll say fuck you, and then you fly back. You don't have to stay. But he did like him, and they did stay. Daniel Bruhl, I think, stayed with him for like a week. So no wonder he got the mannerisms and everything down because he really got great access to Niki Lauda and his actual personality and everything. So there you go. Of course, he did a good job.
You think you could do that? You think you could play me? You have access to all of my records.
I don't know if I could. I actually don't do a good impression. I can't think of anything to do an impression with.
I know. Sometimes it's hard.
What do I do an impression of me?
Of you?
Yeah.
Oh, see, impressions, it has to be like something that I kind of plan out. Like I have to think about what I'm going to say. Or I just do something really loud.
That's Stacey. Yeah. Loud and like
and then
outburst.
Rocky. I could pretend to try to do you as Rocky, which would not be good.
Of me doing an impression of Sylvester Stallone as Rocky, as Niki Lauda.
Whoa. I can't fathom it at all.
You can just insult me. It's a pretty easy way to be
That's
Stacey.
true.
Ben. There.
See?
There you go.
There you
That was perfect. That was perfect.
All right. There's my impression of you.
They agree.
C. I'm glad that you're agreeing
Neil
with
agrees.
it.
They said Stacey could play Brienne and Brienne could play Stacey. That's true.
There was
We're great
only
actresses.
one criticism that I saw about this film just from someone on Twitter that said I didn't like it that much because I am a purist in like the Formula One racing. So I know that it was shot out of order. I was like, oh, that sucks because you know too much about it. And that can take you out of the film.
Right.
Whereas I don't know anything. And I'm just like, hey, I'm going along for this ride.
Never heard of those
and I
people.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. I think with sports films, it needs to be filled with drama and compelling character stories. So if you don't have the exact elements of the game right or the score or the order, I don't really think that it matters so much because it's just as sometimes you gotta do certain things to make the story move. So
you do.
Yeah.
You have to do certain things so people will like Rudy because I didn't.
I haven't
Sorry,
seen Rudy.
everyone.
I refuse to watch Rudy, actually.
How come?
I don't know. My boyfriend loves that film. He always talks about it.
Okay.
And just out of
Spite?
I'm like, I don't want to watch it. Like I just I want to annoy him because he gets so annoyed. He's like,
Mhm.
"What do you mean you don't think you'll like it?" And I'm like, "I don't think I'll like it. I don't like sports. I don't care." And he's like, "It's really inspiring the score," and I'm like, "I don't give a shit. No, I refuse to watch it. I will
Okay,
never watch Rudy
that's fine.
unless something happens. We'll figure out what I need to
Unless,
do to watch Rudy.
oh, like we have a bet or something. But
Yeah,
I would
we got to
never
make a
do
bet.
that to you because I'm not a fan of the movie. So I wouldn't be like, yeah, you got to watch this. I mean, there's certain things you got to watch to like be up on certain questions that could come on some trivia game. But at the same time, I'm like, it doesn't matter. I missed that one. Although
Yeah.
if we're on a team, I would get the Rudy one.
Yeah.
Maybe.
hmm
Maybe.
And I'll get the mummy one. Oh, I dream. I have fantasies about being in a schmodown and it's to the end, where we're in sudden death or whatever, and it's like,
Mhm.
what was the name of Brendan Fraser's character in The Mummy? And I'm like, and then I answer, and I win, and I climb on top of the desk, and I laugh maniacally and point and
I
laugh at the
I
loser.
hope that this
If it happens,
I really do.
my
I have those
dream will come
dreams,
true.
but with cliffhanger.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, Anyways, moving on. Let's
We
move
had
on
a
to race.
cliffhanger question though one time.
We have not.
We
There
I
is
feel
no
like we
way.
did.
No.
It was who was the villain in cliffhanger where we were like John Lithgow.
We did not have that. Someone
Okay.
else did.
All right.
Someone else got our
Okay.
question.
God
Okay,
damn it.
let's move on. We're gonna move from Rush
I
to
kicked the thing.
other
Sorry.
two other films that are about racing. Doesn't have to be about car racing, just racing
Racing.
in general. And I went with Cars 3. And I've talked about this a lot. So those people that watch film therapy will know how much I love Cars 3 and why. Have you seen Cars 3? I told you did not have to.
I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't. I got
So it
stuff
came
to
out. That's all right. It came out this year. It came out in June 16th of 2017.
do.
And
That recent.
yes, and it is about Lightning McQueen. He's setting out to prove to a new generation of racers that he's still the best race car in the world. So he is the old man Logan in this story when all these like new cars are up and coming. They say in this one part where it's like, how will you know when you're done racing? And one of the other car characters says, you'll know when you're done racing because the rookies will tell you because they'll start beating you. And so that's how
Oh.
you know when it's time to retire because they're taking over. So Jackson
kinda
Storm is
sad.
like the big guy on campus. He's starting to do all the you can see that he's going to take the season.
Mm,
And Lightning's like, "No, I got to get in this. I got to win. I got to prove that I'm the best."
mm.
And so he goes into training. And he has this trainer. Her name's Cruz Ramirez by Cristela Alonso, her voice. And you learn that it's really about her, this movie. But you don't really learn that till like kind of the end. It's a female empowerment movie, is what
Oh.
I've come to learn.
With talking cars.
With talking cars.
I like that. I'm there for that. I'm here for it. I dig it. I dig it.
So yeah, I love this movie just because there's certain things that she'll say. And this kind of goes back to film therapy that I did with Jason Inman, where he was the host and I was the patient, or he was the therapist and I was the patient. But there's certain things that she'll say that really resonate with me, like dream small or not at all. That's
Mhm.
one thing. Or there's a time when Jackson Storm kind of comes up to her and says, because she's on the track with him and she's racing with him, and they had like quickly painted her up to
Mhm.
have the number so she could get out there. And he says to her, like, you can dress up all you want, but you're never going to be one of us. And I was
Mhm.
like, ooh,
Yeah.
that hurts. That hurts, Jackson Storm.
Does it mirror something
It
that might have
does.
happened in real life?
It does. You can check out my film therapy if you want to go more into depth about Cars 3.
Whoa.
That was
Okay.
last week with Jason Inman, episode 50, or session 50, I should say. So there you go. I recommend Cars 3.
Okay. I loved the first Cars. I did not see Cars 2.
It was terrible. You don't skip that.
Skip that one, but watch Cars 3. And
Yes.
I don't need to watch Cars 2 like
No,
for
there's no through
story-wise?
storyline.
There's no through story.
It's
Okay.
an off story, and it's about Mater, and he's like a spy.
What?
It's crazy.
What are
It
you
gets crazy.
talking about?
It gets crazy.
That sounds
And
insane.
but Cars 3, I would rank them. If I were to rank the Cars films, I'd go Cars 3, Cars 2.
Cars 2.
I mean, Cars
Wow.
2 shouldn't be on there at all.
Bold
But
statement.
they
What
should have
about
just gone from Cars to Cars 3, no Cars 2.
But I
town.
feel like, okay, like in Cars, in the first Cars, he was the young buck.
He was.
You know, he was the
Mhm.
arrogant,
Yeah.
you know, car
He was
coming
the
into
rookie.
town, and like he was the rookie. So then if you go from that to in the second one, he's now the old guy and there's these rookies coming in. I feel like that would have been too
Yeah.
soon. You would have been
But
like,
it's
he
not.
was just
But
the
the second
rookie, he
one's
just
not
went.
about him, really. I
I
mean, he
know, but-
races, but
Yeah.
it's about Mater.
Yeah.
So.
But I feel like if it would have gone from he's the rookie to now he's the old man,
Yeah.
that would have been too
Sure.
soon. So Cars 2 should have gone on, but not
Maybe
that
a different
story, but
path.
Yeah, different path to
But
come to this.
You had a tweet recently that said, "Waking up in the middle of the night, it's toe
Oh
Mater
yeah,
because he
toe.
tows things,
because he's a tow truck,
not like
guys.
a tomato, not
Yeah,
like a
I was like,
tomater."
Because I'm from the South. We say it like tomater sometimes.
For a tomato.
Yeah, for a tomato. Get get those
Tomato.
tomatoes. They're in the garden.
Mhm.
I hate you.
Those tomatoes are good.
I don't know
So
why
it's
you felt the
tomater.
need to chime in just then, but I'll allow it
Yeah.
till I
Thanks,
don't,
Ben.
until I get
Thanks
rid
for
of your mic.
valued opinion.
All right.
Okay.
So Cars 3, there we go.
Okay.
Which racing film did you bring?
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's bobsled time. Of course I picked Cool Runnings, you guys. This
loved Cool
movie,
Runnings.
this movie is fantastic. A great Disney film.
Yes.
Disney live action film. Disney doesn't always hit it out of the park with their live action films.
No.
But you know what? In 93, they did. Okay, so this came out in 93, directed by John Turteltaub. I think that's his
Mhm.
name, which is a really cute name. When a Jamaican sprinter is disqualified from the Olympic Games, he enlists the help of a dishonored coach to start the first Jamaican bobsled team. Based on a true story, this same year in the Olympics was the same time as Eddie the Eagle, which was fantastic. So, of course,
Nice.
Eddie the Eagle, a film that just came out starring Taron Egerton, it's that same Olympics. So those two events could happen around the
Nice.
same time. Isn't that pretty crazy?
That's cool.
And now 2 movies have been made about those Olympics. I think that's pretty good.
Ben, can you look up, did John Turteltaub, or however you say it, did he direct National Treasure? I need to know. And if he didn't, who directed National Treasure?
And also, how do you say his name? I feel like it's Turteltaub. It can't. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot
Turteltaub.
going on. Turteltaub spinner. I love it. Okay. It stars Leon. That's just the only name listed for him, and that's not his character's name. That's like the actor's name is Leon. Doug E. Doug, Raul D. Lewis, Malik Yoba, and of course John Candy. This was his last completed film
Mhm.
he did before he died. He was working on another film, but he didn't finish that film. So this is his last
Okay.
completed film. Surprisingly, no awards were won for this film. When I tried to look it up, no Oscars. Should have won a few Oscars
Or nominated.
or nominated. Yeah, absolutely. And it's an inspiring presence, an inspiring presence in the filmmaking world.
He did direct National Treasure.
John
Ah,
Turteltaub
thank you,
did direct
Rainbow
National Treasure.
Too late. Too
What?
late. Rainbow Sands beat you to it. You loser.
Well, he
I
was
had
ready.
it. I was
he was
ready.
ready.
okay. I don't know.
But
you didn't
we
speak up.
saw it from Randall first.
Okay.
So that
Gotta
we were
interrupt
waiting for
them.
you to conclude your thought process, and then we were
okay.
going to go with it.
I was being respectful of you, Stacy.
Okay, Ben. All right. Calm down. Calm down.
We're calming down.
Okay,
We
all
are.
right.
We
I
are.
remember and it is on Netflix if you guys want to rewatch it. I just remember being little and going into my bathtub and like pretending
Yeah,
to race
'cause that's
they
what they
do that
do.
in the film.
That's what they do.
There are a few inaccuracies in the film though, because in bobsledding it's totally legal to weigh your to add weight to your bobsled.
Oh,
Because
huh.
it has to weigh a certain amount for it to be safe for the driver. So if you guys get in and it doesn't weigh the amount that it needs to weigh, you can add.
Is that a rule now, or was that a rule then?
It was I don't know.
Because maybe that wasn't a rule until later.
I feel like it was a rule then. Maybe they just made it for drama's sake for the
Okay.
film.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just know that at least now it's legal because it has to weigh a certain amount for it to be able to move and be safe and for you not to like boom and fly out of
Yeah.
the little slide thingy.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I feel like I remember they wanted to name the bobsled Tallulah.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing I remember.
I didn't read about that. I don't remember that.
And that they ended up calling it instead Cool Runnings because they thought that would be a much easier name.
Cool running.
I'm like, that makes sense.
And of course, inspired by true events. The one of the bobsledders from the real team in the '86
Mhm.
Olympics has gone on. He's now like the head of the Jamaican Bobsled Federation or whatever
Aw.
it's called. So he's
Maybe
gone
they have an
on
indoor
to.
facility. Maybe they
They
can
probably
actually
do.
train like better now.
I want them to train in that facility, and I also want people that do what's it called, curling, where you push the
Uh-huh.
rock. Have you heard of this sport?
I have.
You push the rock and you like
I don't really know how it works.
you like
It's like
wipe
you're
the
cleaning the
ice.
floor.
It's like you're cleaning the floor.
But I don't
Swiffering-
understand it.
You're swiffering before a big rock. So I think that if I were in the Olympic Games, I could be a gold medal curler.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
I feel like that's the
You
one
should
sport
try
that
it.
I could maybe do. It's curling.
Hmm.
I want to be in the Olympics.
Being in the Olympics would be pretty cool. Pretty
Mhm.
cool. I don't think I could do anything. Maybe some sort of swimming.
Oh, are you a good swimmer?
I was. So when I was young, my swim instructor said out of all the kids she's had that I have the most like capability to like go on and do good swimming and like be
Oh.
competitive and stuff and
Mhm.
and then my mom was like, "Hey, you want to do swimming?" I was like, "No." Wait, what do I have to do for that? You got to get up early. Definitely not. Like I was not a kid that wanted to wake up at any time.
I feel like I could be a swimmer because I'm like long and slender.
Mm,
Maybe.
that would help.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
I did dance growing up. I don't know if I could be like Olympic level. We should do choreographed swimming routines
Oh,
together.
that would be super hard.
But we could do it though.
Synchronized swimming is
Synchronized
super
swimming.
hard.
Mhm.
I
we
had a
can do
friend that
this
was on
stuff.
the Olympic synchronized swimming team. What
What?
do you know? What do you know?
Did she win any medals?
Yes, I can't remember
That's pretty
if
crazy.
she got. I think she got a silver.
Imagine
I'm
being
not
like,
sure.
I'm an Olympic medalist. Like I have medals. That's
Mhm,
pretty
mhm.
dope. That's pretty dope.
Is there anything else you would like to tell us about Cool Runnings before we move on to our next?
The crash scene that they had at the end of the movie, that's except for like close-up shots, that's the real crash footage they
Oh,
have from a crash during that Olympic Games.
wow.
At the time, it was the highest grossing live action film released under the Walt Disney Pictures banner. So this
Hmm.
film was super successful. And everyone that they originally wanted to have in it dropped out except for John Candy. So they wanted like Eddie Murphy
Aw.
in there. They wanted Denzel Washington. They wanted the big names for the bobsled team members. And instead, they got great actors who were like, we're just going to do this comedic part. It's going to be great. And God damn it, they killed it. Cool Runnings.
I love it.
There you go.
There it is.
There
So
it
we've
is.
done so far. We've done Rush. Then we went to movies about racing, some kind of racing. I did Cars 3, and Stacey did Cool Runnings. And now we're going to link off of Cars 3 and Cool Runnings. With I'm going to go off of Cars 3, and I'm
Okay.
going to link it to movies about an old guy that wants to like have a comeback.
Okay.
Old guy comebacks. And I'm doing Rocky Balboa, which came out December 20th, 2006. This was the first Rocky film that I actually saw in the entire series.
Wow.
And I saw it in the theater. And so I didn't really have, I mean, I knew what Rocky was. I had an idea of the series and like kind of the storylines. I knew I'd seen some parts of Rocky 4. And it's like later I realized, oh wait, I probably already saw all of Rocky 4, where you're like, oh, I've seen parts of that movie, and they're like, oh wait, I've actually seen the whole movie, right?
Oh,
That
yeah.
happens
When you
sometimes.
realize it, you're like,
Oh,
hold on. If I
because
seen
it's
this
so many
film?
montages. You're like,
Mhm.
wait a minute. But
Time
anyways,
for a montage.
so Rocky Balboa. It says 30 years after the ring of the first bell, Rocky Balboa comes out of retirement and dons his gloves for his final fight against the reigning heavyweight champ Mason the Line Dixon. And this was written and directed by Sylvester Stallone, our favorite, as we all
Wow.
know.
Old
Um,
Sly.
Also starring Burt Young, Antonio Tarver, Milo. How do you say Milo's last name?
Oh,
Ventimiglia.
I don't
I'm
know.
terrible
I just
at
always in that
names.
movie Prime with
Mhm. Was he on Heroes? I
Uma
can't
Thurman.
remember.
I think he was. Oh shit.
He was
Was
on
he
some
also on
sort of
Gilmore Girls?
long-running television show.
Milo Ventimiglia, right?
Yes.
He was on Heroes. He was
Okay.
Peter, which is like the cheerleader's uncle, but she doesn't know that. And
Right.
then he was on not. No, yeah, he was on Gilmore Girls.
He played the one of
was.
the
Nice.
boyfriends,
We got it.
right?
Yeah.
We got him.
Okay,
Good.
there we go. We
I
know,
saw
we
him
know.
once in Montrose. That was fun.
Was he cute?
Yes.
Oh,
Kinda
I mean,
short.
He's cute. Oh, he's short. That's what
That's
I
not
always.
how-
That's what I always
yeah.
really mean when I say is he cute. I mean,
Mhm,
is he the
right.
height that he should be?
I
To be a
saw.
handsome
Okay,
man?
here's who I saw
Or is he
at the
teensy?
same time, which was kind of crazy. Him at this small little restaurant. Let me just mind.
Well, he's small,
let me-
so it's for
let-
small people.
small- Him, Ryan Reynolds, and when he was with Alanis Morissette, the three of them. I
What?
saw the three of them,
They
and
were
it
all
was
together
crazy.
eating.
Well, Milo like had come and gone, and then they had
Okay.
come because they all went to this like motorcycle shop that's like right next, like a really like shishi motorcycle shop that's right there.
Mhm.
And then they came into the restaurant, and I see Ryan Reynolds, and I don't know it's him, but I'm
Mhm.
like, he looks I was like, he looks exactly like this guy I know, Mackenzie, like
Mhm.
exactly.
Mhm.
And I almost went up to him and been
You
like,
know someone that looks like
I was like, you look
Ryan
exactly
Reynolds?
like my friend. Yes. I almost said
You're
that to
gonna be
him,
like,
and
you
then
look like my friend. He's like,
and then I
look like
sat
myself,
down and I was with
celebrity.
my friend Tolly, and she's like, "Do you know who's behind you right now?" And I was like, no." She's like, "Yeah, I'll tell you who's behind you right now." And
the
I was
guy
like, "It was just
from-
us two and them two in this
Whoa,
restaurant.
that's
This was
crazy.
crazy."
What if you
Sorry
were
for
like,
this
I
weird
loved you
moment,
and
guys.
Two Guys, a Girl, in a Pizza Place. That was a good show. I
was
remember
like-
that show.
That's hilarious because I remember thinking like seeing Ryan Reynolds in movies and stuff and thinking him and Mackenzie look a lot alike.
That's so funny.
So,
I can't believe you know someone that looks like Ryan Reynolds and
He
you haven't
doesn't now.
introduced us. Oh, he doesn't. Oh,
now.
did
He
he
didn't.
get Chunky
He
Monkey?
no, he just aged differently. Aged out of
Oh.
looking like him.
The receding hairline?
Yeah,
Oh,
that happens.
Sorry
That
for you,
happens.
Mackenzie.
sorry.
Just wear a hat, babe. Wear a hat. It's all right. Wear a backwards baseball hat. It's okay.
So, anyways, back to this movie, Rocky Balboa. Always
Come
on
back.
the always
Come
on
back, kid.
tangents. But I really enjoyed it in the theater, but I don't know why I didn't think like, oh, I should go back and watch the rest of the series. I also feel sad that it took so long for this movie to get made because I know Sylvester Stallone wanted to do it pretty quickly after Rocky 5,
Mhm.
but couldn't get the green light for it because Rocky 5 was just not good.
Oh.
But at the same time, I feel like Rocky had to go through Rocky 5 to get to where we are now with like Creed.
Creed, which is great.
Yes.
Oscar nominated film.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, other Rocky films have been nominated.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like that. The kind
Yes.
of comeback he had was like
Yes.
now at the end, or not the end, but now at the beginning of this new story, he's like back at the top.
Exactly.
You know.
So there we go. Can you think of, and maybe
Oh
in
my
the chat,
gosh.
how about you go ahead and give us some ideas of
Yeah.
movies that have an old guy coming back,
I
or it
need
could be an
to-
old woman coming back to something and like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this again. You know,
Oh, shit.
I'm older
on.
now, but I'm gonna do this
I'm
again.
gonna need to Google this. I need you guys to give me some.
Because what we do now is we go in blind. So
Yeah.
Stacy didn't know my link off of Cars 3, and then she has to kind of come up with a movie that falls into that link.
All right, hold on.
But let me tell you some things about Rocky Balboa while we're waiting for some
Can
responses.
I pick the replacements? Have we
We've talked about the replacements
replacements?
a
Okay, I
few
can't pick it.
times, but and Stacy has not seen Unforgiven, Neil, which she needs to
Haven't.
see.
I know it's on my Netflix
incredible.
list.
So let me tell you a few things about Rocky Balboa while
Okay.
we're
So
waiting.
sorry.
Things that I wrote down.
Mhm.
Okay. So the bout between Rocky and Mason Line Dixon, any time that they were filming, they would actually hit each other.
Oh,
So those were
that's
real
dangerous.
hits. So there is a time when Sylvester Stallone like is knocked out and he's really knocked out.
Hmm.
And I'm like, that's pretty crazy
Have we
and
talked about-
scary.
oh yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't hurt each other, kids. Be kind.
Mm-hmm.
Have we talked about the wrestler?
I don't think so.
Fuck yeah, I'm
Maybe
talking about
we
the
have.
wrestler.
I don't, but let's talk about it again.
I love this movie. Even if we've talked about it already, who cares? The wrestler, Mickey Rourke, comes back not just as an actor. You know, this was his official comeback as an actor. Like, I'm a great, serious thespian, Oscar nominated,
Mm-hmm.
Actor in the Hollywood now. But the film itself is about a wrestler who was in like the underground wrestling scene. And not like the wrestling you do in high school. I mean, like you have a persona and
Like
you're a-
WWE.
yeah, WWE, like you're a heel, but it's like the underground. It's not as professional,
Okay.
right? And he's struggling in life. He wants a relationship with his daughter that he
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been in contact with or been there for. Really, he doesn't have anyone romantically he wants to date Marissa Tomei, who's like a stripper and has to like him, but then she kind of really likes him, and then you don't know. And he's trying to make a comeback
Yeah.
in this career that he is just not been successful at for a while. So it's a very heartbreaking story because it's not the typical sports like I'm gonna triumph, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna stand on everyone's shoulders in the end, and I won my gold medal or whatever. It's actually really sad. The entire film. Have you seen the rest?
I have not seen The Wrestler.
You need to watch it.
I know I do.
Mm-hmm. And
It's on my list. It's in my black hole.
it's fantastic. I believe it was directed. I'm not even gonna look this up because I'm gonna see if I can remember it. Was it directed by Darren Aronofsky? Ben?
We will find out.
We're gonna find out. I believe it was directed by Darren Aronofsky when he was still married to Rachel Weisz, my girl crush forever.
Anytime we don't know, we should just say Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright.
Because
You're
I
right.
knew it was Edgar Ramirez that time.
Correct.
Oh, I'm right.
Yeah.
Darren. Okay, cool. I knew it was Edgar Ramirez. I just said Edgar Wright because he was on my brain. I don't know, but
well, Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. There you go. Yeah, and it's got every wrestler that's in kind of the wrestling scene nowadays,
Mhm.
whether they're underground or on like professional, huge paid like The Rock level, has been like, this is a very accurate portrayal of what wrestlers, especially older wrestlers, go through. I
Hmm.
remember we watched a documentary about wrestling for
Yes, we watched Beyond the Mat.
Yes.
It's basically that Jake the Snake story, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
hmm And
Yeah.
this movie reminded me a lot of that film, and it had a lot of similarities. So Evan Rachel Wood plays his daughter
Oh,
in this.
okay.
Marissa Tomei does like a lap dance
Oh.
in this. So she gets like naked. She's like dancing around. She looks good. She does fantastic in this role, which could have been just a throwaway role, but she really brought her own heartbreak to it and her own character's flaws to try to meet up with this also flawed character, and them just both trying to, as they get older, just survive basically. So the film is fantastic, very moving. I cried a bunch. Mickey Rourke, god damn it. This was his true comeback. After this, and they did Immortals, and again he was in Sin City, Dame to Kill For, and he's been getting solid work after that. So
Good for him.
good for him. Good
So
for
it's
him.
not just a story about a comeback. It's a comeback about
That's
a
right.
comeback.
It's a comeback of a comeback.
There we go.
There
I
you
like
go.
it. I like it
Yeah.
a lot.
Okay.
So now off of Cars 3, we'll recap. I went to movies where an old person has a comeback with Rocky Balboa and The Wrestler.
Yeah.
And now you are going off of
Cool Runnings.
Okay.
So I'm going off of Cool Runnings. In Cool Runnings, John Candy is a reluctant coach. He does not want to come back to the game. He doesn't want to coach this ragtag group of kids how to bobsled. They know nothing about it. So I'm going with reluctant coaches is my theme.
Yes. And if you want to put in the chat movies with reluctant coaches
Go
so
for it.
that I can maybe pull from one of those or come up
Yes.
with my own that I'm thinking of right now. But maybe we've talked about it 4 or 5 times on the show already. So I
Who
can't.
cares?
Who knows? We'll see.
Who cares?
Go ahead.
We can do whatever we want. So my movie is Little Giants, you guys. So in Little Giants, I suppose you could say Rick Moranis is a reluctant coach.
Yes.
His older, bigger brother is the coach for the very intense Dallas Cowboys style Pee Wee football team. His daughter and all her friends didn't make the team. They didn't make the cut. They weren't good enough in Ed O'Neill's eyes. And so he creates his own team. And it's not necessarily his forte. And I'm sure, if circumstances were different, he wouldn't have done this. But he sees these kids and says, I need to do something to make them feel good about themselves. We need to give everyone a fair chance to play. So I guess I got to coach them. So he reluctantly took on that role. And it's one of those movies that I haven't seen in years, but I love this film. It was like a staple of my household. Like this, we had
I
the DVD with
haven't seen it.
plastic.
This is another one I have not seen, but I do know one of the actors because he works with my husband.
What actor?
The one that kind of looks like Macaulay Culkin with the glasses.
Oh, the one
Blonde kid with the
with
glasses.
the booger bubble
Yeah.
in it? Oh my God, really?
Yeah, we should have him on this show
I would
if
die.
he can get work off.
Yeah. If he can get work off, he should absolutely come on the show. This was the original Replacements, I feel like, as in a film about a ragtag bunch of kids trying to play football. It inspired me because it has a great female character in Becky O'Shea, the Icebox, and she's good. She deserves to be
Mhm.
on the good team, the Cowboys, the real team.
Sure.
But she's a chick, so they said, you can't play. You need to be a cheerleader. She feels a lot of pressure to be pretty and feminine and girly. And she says, I don't want to do that. I want to play football. I'm good. Why can't I
Mhm.
be on the team? So she says, fuck it. I'm going to create my own team with my dad. All my friends can play. No one's excluded. It's got that boy that was Casper, and he was in
Devon
Then
Sawa?
and Now. Yeah, that guy.
Awesome.
He's in this, and she has a crush on him, and
Of
he's got like
course.
a great arm. And he's like, there's a good scene where they're in the grocery store and they're all picking out snacks and stuff, and they see that he is throwing toilet paper across the aisles to land in like a little shopping cart. So there's lots of cute little like
Nice.
Disney kid film moments in this. There's like farts and booger bubbles, and there's sleepovers and there's pranks, and it's a fun time.
I got to see it.
It's fantastic.
It's another one I got to see. And I feel like we could maybe get Devon Sawa on the show as well. I feel like we
Yes.
should work on that.
There's a lot of people that we should have on the
Yeah.
show.
We
that,
talked
like,
about
we
Ethan
deserve
Embry
it.
last week. And
He
we're like,
would come.
we totally need him.
He
on.
would totally come. He would totally
But
come.
I did just see Idle Hands for the first time. That's Devon Sawa too.
Oh, okay.
So
He's also in the Stand video for Eminem, I believe.
Interesting.
What's
Interesting.
he doing? I want
I see him on Twitter.
Okay.
He follows me on Twitter.
Oh,
What do you know? What do you know?
Oh, what do you know?
That's
What do
very
you know?
exciting. Very
That's very
exciting.
cool. Very cool. I did read some fun trivia about this. Hold on, let me get my stuff. This movie was inspired by an early 1990s McDonald's ad about Pee Wee football that ran during the Super Bowl. The
Okay.
day after it aired, Steven Spielberg liked it so much that he called up the ad's creator, James Ferguson, and hired him to write the script. Isn't that cool?
It's fun.
Like you think, oh, I'm gonna write this little commercial. That's probably like the biggest thing that's happened to you is I wrote a commercial. It's in the Super Bowl. It's gonna air amazing. Steven Spielberg calls you up the next day and is like, "Yo, I loved your ad. Let's make a movie about this."
That's
Pretty
crazy. I love it.
Pretty crazy. The game-winning play at the end of the movie inspired
Yes.
Michigan State Spartans coach Mark D'Antonio to make a similar one, faking a field goal for a touchdown in their September 18th, 2010 March against Notre Dame, bringing them a 31-34 victory rather than a 31-31 tie. After the game, D'Antonio said, by the way, the name of that play is Little Giants.
Cute. Because it's the annexation of Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah.
That's what they call it. I do
Yep.
know a little bit of trivia about this
There you
this
go.
movie.
There you go.
Mhm, mhm. There it is.
There
Anything
it is.
else?
It's little. Nope. That's it for
Okay.
Little Giants. Watch it. I mean, I really don't want to give anything away or talk about too many details about it. It's just a great feel good kids film. It's if you like The
Mhm.
Sandlot, if you like any
Yeah,
of those
I like
great
The
kid
Sandlot.
stories,
Mhm.
there you go.
I'm all about it.
You are one.
Here's another kid's story of a
Okay.
reluctant coach, which I'm sure we've talked about plenty of times.
Mhm.
But the Mighty Ducks always needs to
Ah!
be brought back up.
Gordon
I did
Bombay.
see other suggestions as well. Angels in the Outfield came up twice for both my link and your link. So I thought that was fun. But I feel like I don't know that movie as well. I just remember Christopher Lloyd and Tony Danza and young Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and that was probably about it.
Mhm.
That's all
I
I really
never saw it.
remember about it. But the Mighty Ducks I remember because I remember liking it. I really appreciate that like he's a coach because he's like he had a DUI and so
That
this
was
is
real
like
dark.
his community service. I'm like, wow, movies at the time were definitely way different than they are now. You would not see something like that
No way.
today.
And that's a Disney film.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, he's drunk driving. He's gonna kill someone. He's reluctantly gonna coach.
They should have maybe said like, he'd had a NyQuil, and
Yeah.
he drove, and you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Or maybe like he had road rage or something. That would have made a lot more sense.
That could be. Then you probably wouldn't want to put him with kids. I mean, maybe you wouldn't want to because of drunk driving either. You probably shouldn't be working with children.
Props not.
But I don't know.
Props not.
Somehow this happened, and it was glorious. It was glorious.
It's the 90s, guys.
Joshua Jackson, always loved him.
Oh, so gorgeous.
He's my favorite. I don't remember like anyone else pretty much aside from in D2 Mighty Ducks had Mike Vitar in it. So I was like, yes, Sandlot, Mighty Ducks coming together.
What's his name?
This is a win.
It's Foggy from Daredevil.
No, don't know.
Ben, who plays Foggy on Daredevil? What's his name? Eldon something. He is in
Oh.
this, and he plays
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know the name.
because he
Cool.
wanted to do football, but they wouldn't let him, and they tried to recruit him, and he's in this, and he's like, I don't know how to skate, but they're like, who cares? We'll teach you how to skate. You're just a badass. Okay,
Ben's
you can
got it.
score. You got it.
He's
What's his name?
played by Eldon Henson.
There you go. That guy who's also Foggy on Daredevil,
The show.
series. The show.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. He's in Idle Hands too. That's right, Sam. Thank you. He is in Idle Hands as well,
Wow. Did not know that.
along with Seth Green. They're
Really?
buddies. They're buddies.
They're
They're
buds.
buddies in the movie.
buds. I love it.
That's right.
I feel like we should do a film together, like a real film.
A movie. Okay.
Where, because all these actors in Hollywood, they're all great friends and they just want to work together, right? And so they like do a project together, and it might be small and indie and maybe not make any
Okay.
money, but they just want to work together. And I
Here
want
we
us
got
to
we
do
got
that.
it. Ben's
What?
gotta write it.
Yeah,
Your role probably will not be great,
probs not.
but but then we'll be in Ben's film that he wrote.
I'll give Stacy a good role
Okay.
just so I can A, say I have the higher ground, and B, so she can't claim I'm a bad writer as her
Okay.
justification for being in a bad.
I'm sure you're a great writer. I have
Aw.
no doubts about
That's
that.
really sweet,
I
actually.
have complete doubts about your ability. He didn't even plug this in right this morning. By the
That's
way, just
true.
wanted everyone to know. That's why our first sound test was shit.
I'm very tired.
But yeah, I don't think you do anything for the show. I do think you're a good writer though, and you are. I've never read anything, but I believe you're a good writer. I've never
Yeah.
read anything you've written. I have read some things though. Just want everyone to know.
I've
that.
read books
I've
before.
read books. I have many
Articles.
leather-bound books.
Smells of rich mahogany.
Smells
Yeah.
of rich mahogany.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are our 7 total films.
Yeah.
One film, show how 6 other films link up to it in some random way, shape, or form. So we went from Rush, then we linked it to movies with races in them, and we linked to Cars 3 as well as Cool Runnings. Off of Cars 3, I linked it to movies where an old guy comes back, and I did Rocky Balboa, and Stacy did The Wrestler. And off of Cool Runnings, Stacy did Reluctant Coaches, and she talked about Little Giants, and I talked about The Mighty Ducks. There
7.
you have it.
7.
Now we're going to do movie link tweets, where I tweet out our first link. I said, what is your favorite film about racing? And I did qualify it to say it doesn't have to be car racing, just so everyone knows. Could be horse racing, could be turtle racing. I don't know. I don't know what kind of racing you're into. So here's what I got back. Joey Noel says The Fast and the Furious. Randall Sands, hey Randall, says Secretariat. Tom Zambeno. Jeff Holt, Ryan, and Gabriel Torres say Rush. Janine LC, hey Janine. Art R and Hugh Honey say Death Race. Mara Truman says Crank. Frank Godoy, Patrick PJ Campbell say Cool Runnings. Anthony Hernandez says Motocrossed. Tyler Myers, Anthony Tobias, Andrew Gonzalez say Talladega Nights. Debbie Scheitzer, I apologize, Debbie, says Right on Track. Alexander I can't say names anymore. I'm Kodowaski says Heavyweights. That is a great film
Nice.
and a
choice.
great race. Ben McElroy, hey Ben, Joseph Kramer, and Anthony Tobias say Days of Thunder. Chad Wires, Red Panda, and Wonko the Sane say Cannonball Run. Tater Allen says Racing Stripes, and Dustin Dowd said Speed Racer. We didn't
I've
take
heard
all of
that's-
them. It's just whoever gets in time.
Yeah.
So that's
I've
just
heard
kind of
Speed
how it works.
Racer is a good underrated film. Of
Now-
it's the Wachowskis, right?
It is.
Wachowskis.
Mhm.
Is
I have
it
a question.
Wachowski or Wachowski?
What's your
What?
question?
No one said this movie, and I get why, but would you consider Mad Max Fury Road a racing movie?
No.
I feel like it
Because-
What are
is,
they
though.
racing for?
I mean,
What's-
they're racing away and they're being
Chase. It's a
chased, so-
chase movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Because me racing means like you're side by side and you're racing to get to the finish line. That is like someone's escaping and you need to chase after them.
There's a winner
like
and
The
there's a
Fugitive.
loser.
But like, I googled like Mad Max Fury Road. Like, do you consider it a racing movie? And there were definitely articles that refer to the race scenes in the movie.
Hmm.
So
I don't know.
like, I get the argument
I
against
don't
it.
know.
I just that was my thought.
Okay.
I think it starts off as a race. That's definitely what the intention of all that is. But then she escapes, and then it's more like she's broken the law. We're going after her. So it's like The Fugitive, you know. So I don't think it's a race movie.
We also link it to Kevin Bacon.
Because 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. By the way, I did wear my 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon shirt yesterday
Yes.
at work.
Uh-huh.
And got a lot of compliments, a lot of stares. But you know what? Fuck
They're
'em,
like,
'cause
"What
they don't
is
know
this?"
true humor. So Kevin Bacon was in Patriots Day with Mark Falvo, who was in The Avengers with Chris Hemsworth, who was in Rush. There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
Did you bring a scene?
I did not bring a scene. I just want to do the phrase from Cool Runnings,
Okay.
which is feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme,
Okay.
get on up, it's
So-
bobsled time.
Now it is time for Better with Rocky, where we ask, we're saying Cool Runnings today, would Cool Runnings be better with Sylvester Stallone as Rocky, as the tagline
Yeah,
from,
it's their phrase.
As
it's their
the
inspired
phrase. from Cool Runnings, performed by Stacey Howard right now?
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on up, yo! It's bobsled time. There you go.
That was
Short
good.
and sweet, you
That
guys.
was
Short
great.
and sweet.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much,
You're
Stacey.
welcome. You're welcome.
Where can everyone find you and your top knot?
You can find me fixing my top knot, constantly trying to get it to be bigger than it is, on Twitter at SOHoward2012 and Instagram at Stacey O Howard. Where can we find you?
You can find me all day, every day on Twitter at Miss Movies. And you can also find me on Instagram, Miss_movies. I don't think I have anything else going on soon. I mean, you can catch us at the end of Rachel's match
That's
yesterday.
true.
We
Yeah.
make a little cameo. We have
Yeah.
a little cameo.
We got a little talk a little shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
So check that out. That's on Collider Videos. It's the Inner Geekdom match between Rachel Cushing and Mike Kalinowski.
All right. So
There
it's
you
good to me. Okay. Let's end the show because I have to pee.
Okay, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.